What's up, guys? Mason the Brock Henderson here, and this is Fear the Walking Dead, Season 3, Episode 15, Things Bad Begun. Is that proper grammar? Is that even a title? Anyways, but yeah, so essentially, more of people being idiots, more of people lying to each other, more of people, backstabbing each other. Yeah, all of it, because that's what the show is all about, apparently. Um, First, I'll talk about the one that kind of left the least amount of impact on me, essentially because we finally get introduced to the new main bad guy for the end of this season, which is Proctor John, and again, just feels very unnatural that a few months into the apocalypse, you got a guy in a wheelchair who's commanding all of these people. Like, oh, he's in a wheelchair, guys. Please lead us. Lead us to salvation, sir, in the wheelchair. This is why this show doesn't work, because you got random people who suddenly rose to power out of nowhere, and nobody is taking it from him. Nobody's going, he's in a wheelchair. Apparently, he's even got brothers. You're telling me that none of his brothers are like, okay, why is he in charge? Like, nobody? They're just like, oh, it's a guy in a wheelchair. Guy. Oh, so scary. He's so scary, man. Oh my gosh. We all decide to obey him, and we all serve him now. And don't cross Proctor John. He's crazy, man. So, but yeah, we get introduced to him because Alicia and her new friend get randomly attacked, which I always wonder how these scenes work in normal TV shows where you've got like the person driving and all of a sudden into the side. Most of the time that happens in like spy shows, and you feel like the people that attack them are so coordinated that they're just like, all right, we got to hit them right now. We got to they're driving through this intersection. If we time it right now, we've got them on camera. We're following on surveillance. If we drive right now, we can hit them on the side. You feel like it's a coordinated attack. How does it happen in the apocalypse? Like, what guys are sitting there and like, oh hey, there's people driving on the road a mile away. If we start driving right now, I bet we can hit them on the side. I bet if we time it just right, we can hit them on the. What? It makes sense in shows where you have surveillance cameras and spies and all of this stuff, coordinated attacks. This just felt like a group of random guys who were scavengers and like, all right, let's attack them and we'll time it just right and we'll hit them in the side. Anyways, so, but her friend gets pretty badly beat up. So she takes her to see a doctor. This doctor happens to work for Proctor John. Not only that, but he's also performing a surgery on Proctor John to remove the tumor in his back, to hopefully help him walk again. And Alicia gets roped in because reasons. Like, essentially, they just needed Alicia in the room with Proctor John to give her a tie-in to the season finale. They couldn't have her off doing her own thing. It all had to be tied together. It all had to be. So I'm sure she's going with him. They're going to go to the dam together, and I'm sure Madison's going to see her there with Proctor John, and there's going to be this whole thing. It's like, you couldn't just keep her away from the crap main story plot. You couldn't keep her away from all of that. You had to drag her back in. Like, that was the thing. Last episode, I was kind of like, I'm curious to see what they do with her story. She's off on her own now. She meets this new person. They might be working together to try to survive. That's kind of interesting. And then the show writers are like, nah, we can't do that. We can't have her off doing her own thing that's more interesting than our main story. So let's rope her back into the story, guys. Let's have her have a reason to go see Proctor John. It's like, I don't know, like, these, again, I wonder if the writers are communicating or if they get new writers, because it feels like there were some show writers that took Alicia's character and they're like, we're going to do something interesting. We're going to do something different. She's going to be on her own, but she's going to be working with somebody to survive. So it's less about fighting other people to survive. It's just about scavenging to survive. It's two people working together to scavenge, looking out for each other. That could have been an interesting story. And then all of a sudden, they kicked those show writers off. New show writers came in. They're like, wait, why isn't Alicia with everybody else? No, 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 no. We need her with everybody else. Come on, guys. What are you doing? You trying to write interesting stuff? No, this is Fear the Walking Dead, not The Walking Dead. We gotta be crap. Anyways, so that was all the stuff there. Essentially, she's with Proctor John now and gonna be with him at the dam. The stuff with everybody else was just all a bunch of crap. Um, Strand, I'm ready to see him die now, but I don't think he's going to because I'm pretty sure he's on the main show promotion art. So I think he's gonna be around for a bit. But he used to be an interesting character. Now he's just every other minute he's doing something that's backstabbing another character. And I get the fact that he and Daniel aren't on the best of terms, but it still just feels like I don't care about Strand, I care more about Daniel. And so to see Strand come out the victor in their fight, I'm like, no, no, I don't like that. I would have preferred to see. And I know Daniel's still alive, and it's badass that he took a freaking shot to the chin and he's still alive. Daniel's the most badass character on the show, hands down. But yeah, like I wanted to see Daniel kick his ass and kill him because I'm ready to see Strand die. But no, the show's like, no, 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 no. Strand is the good guy here, guys. Strand is the character you should be rooting for. Daniel, Lola, they're both terrible people. I'm like, no. Daniel's an interesting character, and Lola, I thought she was going to be a good character. Now she's just trying to deal with the power that comes with owning the dam, and now she's trying to protect it. But I still care more about Daniel and Lola than I do about Strand, because Strand's just a backstabbing con artist. And then there was also the scene with Daniel and Nick, and honestly, just anything with Troy in this episode until the end of his story was just all stupid. First he's in there, he's trying to talk to them, and he's like, yeah, yeah, I'll help out. And Daniel's calling him out. It's like, who are you? Who are you to say you can help? What military experience do you have? Basically calling him out on it, and he's getting all offended. He's like, yeah, you're a Mexican. You can't talk down to me like that because I'm an American. Taking that patriotic trope that shows love to show. It's like, oh, see, this is what Americans are like, guys. The true patriotic Americans, they're just white supremacists. Don't you know? If you feel pride for your country, it means that you hate other countries. You didn't know that? That's why all of those Trump-supporting white supremacist patriotic people, they're all racist. You didn't know that. If you love your country, you have to hate every other country. That's why they're such terrible people. You don't. Anyways, so yeah, he's sitting there. He's getting all offended. Madison steps in. She's like, "I vouch for him." I'm like, "Why?" He's a psychopath. He's crazy. And even that scene where they're like in there together setting up the explosives. Even that, like, I don't know. She's still talking to him like he's a normal person. She's still I miss this. I miss it too. What? What? How do you miss this? The last time you saw him, he nearly killed a man and nearly killed you in the process. And you're seriously telling me that now you're just like, yeah, Troy, I've missed you. I really have. Again, the writers don't know how they want the characters to act around Troy. One episode they hate him, the next episode they love him. Who knows? So then you've got Daniel interrogating Nick. He wants to know, and he knows Troy is responsible. He knows Troy's the one that did it. He's not an idiot. Even at the end, where Nick's like, no, it was Jake, and he tells him this whole false tale, which I'm just going to go ahead and address that. Why are you lying for him? Again, Nick went from, look, man, you got to stop. You got to stop being crazy. You got to stop doing this. And now that he's relapsed onto drugs, now he's just like, nah, Troy's my buddy, man. Nah, he didn't kill him. I'm protecting him. Why are so many people protecting Troy? So many people are protecting him. Like, it's ridiculous how many people protect him. He got so many people killed. He nearly got your sister killed. And you're sitting there, no, it was Jake. Jake's the one that did it. And then ultimately Daniel, because he doesn't want to hurt Nick, but I think he got the answer that he was looking for, he's like, all right, fine. But you can see the look on his face. He's like, I don't believe you. But the thing is, like, not only is Nick protecting Troy, but also he's endangering his own life. Because who says that Daniel's not going to kill you for protecting Troy, who killed his daughter, essentially, by getting the horde in there. You know, who's to say that he's not going to be like, you know what? I know Troy's guilty, and you're guilty by association, so I'm sorry, Nick, but you're dead too. And you're just sitting there lying to his face. Again, it's probably because he feels invincible, because according to the show writers, he is. And then, of course, we finally have the scene where Madison finds out that Troy is the one that led everybody there, and rightfully so, she's pissed. Troy goes on another one of his psychotic rants, which finally leads to what should have happened about 10 episodes ago. Madison takes the hammer right up beside the head. I don't know if he's dead or if he's just unconscious. I mean, he was leaking. He had a nice little hole in the side of his head, but it definitely wasn't deep enough to keep him from turning, so he might still turn. And he also might just show up in the last episode and just be like, trying to kill Madison for trying to kill him. I don't know why she didn't just finish the job. But essentially, their story ends with Strand finds them and he locks them in a room to protect them, which I'm sure isn't going to work out because I'm sure somebody's going to stumble upon the room and be like, hey, there are people in here, and Strand's going to be like, oh, whoops, I'm an idiot. So, yeah, all of that was just really, really dumb. This whole episode, I'm just like, the one storyline that, again, this show is a masterclass in how to cut off good storytelling. However, they even talked about how, Madison was saying, we had the chance to live together. We had been working on peace. I'm like, yeah, but the show writer said, no, that's too interesting. That's too interesting to see these two people that hate each other, or these two sets of people that hate each other, trying to reconcile. So you know what? Let's have them reconcile right before they die. Because that's what everybody wants to see, right? When they come to watch a show, they want to see storylines that lead to nothing but death. And the one thing that just sort of popped in my mind I forgot to talk about at the beginning of the episode is Nick is going around chopping off the heads of walkers because he's giving it to this guy who's getting, the adrenaline gland at the... I hate whenever there's a tickle in the back of your throat and you just can't speak. All you can do is cough. But essentially, he's getting the adrenaline gland from the back of the brain. That's what Nick took in the last episode. So apparently Nick is now just going around getting the heads of walkers to give to this guy. And all I can think is, again, how many months into the apocalypse are we? And this guy is already making a business selling that from the heads of walkers. And he's already seen enough of it to know when is too late, when it's rotted, when it's not good. Again, it's like things moved at 5 times speed in this show. Walking Dead, a few years before things went really crazy and people went really nuts and started doing crazy stuff. Fear the Walking Dead, a few months in, people were already controlling places, people were already divvying up resources, people were already being crazy and know how to kill walkers and, all of this stuff. I wonder which show is more superior. The one with better storytelling, better characters, better development, better world building, or the show that is there. So, final episode. On to it. See you there. And finally, episode 16, the season finale. Thank God I'm here. Sleigh Ride. So, let's talk about this crap show. So first of all, let's talk about the random artistic choice cutaways. We start off, Madison, she's at the farmhouse, and then Nick and Luciana come up with a baby, and then they're looking at the graves of Jeremiah and Troy and Jake, and then also Alicia. I'm like, is this flash forward, or is this in her brain? Neither, apparently, because then later on we see she's having dinner, recreating the picnic table scene, by the way, from Walking Dead. Don't think I didn't catch that you're stealing from them still. But yeah, they recreate that. Everybody's sitting around the table. Jeremiah, Troy, Jake is there. Walker is there. So is Daniel. So is Strand. They're all there. Coop is there for some reason. And then all of a sudden, Jeremiah's head is in the platter, and then Walker cuts off Jake's hand, and then Daniels is just laughing, and blood is flowing, and Strand walks out, and I'm like, okay, what? And then we see Madison. She's in a field of a bunch of graves, and then all of a sudden Jeremiah pulls her into the grave while she's underwater after the dam collapses, and then Travis pulls her out, and then she falls back in, and then she swims out of the water. Symbolism. Ooh, she feels like she's gonna be the only one left, I guess. Wasn't a dream. I guess maybe it was in her head. I don't know. Was it in her head? Was it just supposed to be symbolism that we're just supposed to understand? When in reality, it doesn't really make much sense other than Madison feels like she just wants to survive, I guess? I mean, everybody does. I don't know. Again, just... It's like they think they're so smart, they think they're great storytellers, and they're not. And I'm just sitting here confused. I'm sitting here thinking, what are you trying to do with your show? And I've got no answers. So, yeah, all of that happened. On top of that, we see, there's all of this stuff going on. That just, I don't know. Like, I'm sitting here thinking to myself, okay, so nobody main character-wise is going to die, right? So Lola and Ephraim both die. Not really main characters, though, just kind of side characters. But yeah, Daniel makes it out okay. Strand and Alicia are unknown, but I'm guessing they made it out fine since Maddie made it out fine. But she's okay. Nick's okay. Daniel's okay. Walker and Crazy Dog are okay. So yeah, everybody's okay and happy. Troy is actually dead, though. I was a little surprised about that. I really did expect him to, I don't know, be involved. Which, again, consistency, people. She hits him twice in the head here. And he didn't turn? Use your brain. If he's dead, he turns. Because they didn't stab him, or, they didn't disconnect the brain from the rest of it. Which I did also think about it after the fact, after the review of the last episode. The fact that Nick was cutting off the heads, and the heads were still alive, doesn't work. But, all that aside, Troy should be a walker. Unless he's not actually dead and he's just still unconscious and the water washed him away. But he should have been a walker by that point. I mean, how long was that? Because it only takes him, 15 minutes-ish to turn, I think? I can't remember the exact number. But it doesn't take more than an hour. And he was down there for a while. And, just never turned. He just stayed down there, even though she didn't stab him in the base of the neck. He's just dead, guys. 2 hits to the head right here. Little hole opens up in your head. That's enough to keep you from turning into a walker. Who knew? So anyways, all the stuff on the dam was ridiculous. First, you've got Strand trying to sneak everybody out. That fails because Lola shows up and starts killing people, and then she dies. So then Proctor's trying to execute everyone. And of course, I'm sitting here thinking, okay, so everybody makes it out, but how? What crazy coincidence is going to happen? So first, calling back to what I talked about earlier this season, where Madison took Ophelia to Walker's camp and was such a poor negotiator that she was literally holding Ophelia's head here, doing this, her head wide open to get shot in the back of the head. That's not how you do a hostage negotiation. That's not how you avoid getting shot. Hate to tell you, in a world where everything is ruthless and all these people are supposed to be ruthless, Madison would be dead. Same thing here. So Nick goes up, gives Strand a big old hug, little kiss on the cheek, and then steals the detonator from him, of course. And so he's just sitting there holding the detonator while walking about. Just walking. And let me tell you, I'm actually going to move real quick. So, if a guy has a detonator, right? He's got this detonator. The reason you want to be like this, so you can see everybody, and you've got your finger on the trigger. And you're like, don't. You dare to shoot, I'll flick it. My finger's on the trigger. You shoot, I flick, we're done. That's not Nick. Nick's sitting there, he's just kind of lazily holding it. His finger's not on the trigger. He's kind of doing this number. doing this. Let me tell you something. You turn your back to people who want you dead, and you're holding a detonator, but your finger's not even on the trigger, you're just kind of lazily flapping it about, you're dead. As soon as you do this, shot to the back of the head, you're dead. But, not on Fear the Walking Dead, you're not. On Fear the Walking Dead, people just kind of sit there. Proctor's like, alright, put your gun down, put your gun down. No. If Proctor is as big a bad guy as they have built him up to be, which obviously he's not, then he's like sitting there waiting for that opportunity to try to kill Nick. He's waiting for that opportunity to get him out. Because Nick is threatening not only his life, but also the dam, which he worked so hard to get. So as soon as Nick gives him an opening, Nick should be dead. The detonator should belong to John Proctor. And he should be working on getting those explosives out of the way. But no. Nick walks about, just sitting there doing this with the detonator fingers not even on. I'm just like, you're dead. If this is a realistic situation, you're dead. But it's not, because Fear the Walking Dead doesn't try to be realistic. They just want to have this, tense moment, guys. He's about to blow up the dam. They could kill him at any second. Don't you feel the tension? No, because he should have been dead 3 times before he even talks about letting Madison and Alicia and Strand go. He should have already been dead, but he's not, because the show is not ruthless enough. The bad guys in the show are not ruthless enough. You give most bad guys a split-second opportunity. That's the thing. I think back to, like, one of the best villains in this universe of The Walking Dead, Negan, right? He's always looking for that one opportunity. He's always looking, if he sees his life is in danger, he keeps his cool, he bides his time. As soon as that person that's threatening him slips up, loses their attention or their focus for 1 millisecond, boom, he's on him. They're done. Because as soon as you slip up, you're done with Negan. John Proctor is supposed to be super intimidating, guys. Like, oh my gosh, he's controlled this for so long. It's been like a few months, but he's in control of everything. You don't mess with John Proctor. This kid has a detonator in his hand that's going to blow up the dam that he's just killed so many people to get. He's threatening to blow it up. He's threatening to kill his men and him if he doesn't get what he wants. Do you really think John Proctor is a man that's just going to be like, okay, I'll listen to your proposition? No. At least not if he is truly like in control as much as they've talked about. Talking to the doctor, he's like, my brothers have orders to kill everybody who's in the operating room if I don't make it out. That type of man, you're telling me, is willing to sit there and let this kid just threaten him and his dam? I don't think so. Not if you want to keep things realistic. But no, they want to force this tension. They want to make it seem like it's tense, but they don't want to actually make things tense. They don't want to actually make it seem realistic. They want to make Nick feel like, oh, look, guys, Nick is so awesome, isn't he? He's standing up to this John Proctor guy. He just doesn't even care. He's sitting there smiling about it. What? Oh, my God. So, anyways, all of that happens. I'm already so pissed off because I'm like, he should be dead already. So he does end up getting Madison, Alicia, and Strand to get to a boat so they can, drive away. So then Proctor's like, you're waiting for your family to leave. All right, well, kill him. They don't. He's just sitting there holding the detonator further and further away. Gunshot, because Walker and Crazy Dog are back. Just in the nick of time to save Nick. Just in the nick of time. There's no pun intended there. Like, honestly, I'm not even trying to make jokes. So, any pun that comes out, I don't intend it. No, but yeah, so they show up just in the nick of time to save him. And Daniel also shows up just in the nick of time to save him, which, again, Daniel, still one of my favorite characters. Bullet goes through the side of his cheek. Doesn't matter. He walks in, please. And then as soon as the guy opens up, just, and then takes the gun, shoots everybody. Oh, that was the only good scene in this entire episode. Everything else was complete crap. But the scene where Daniel pretended to be this weak old man and then killed 3 guys like that. Perfect. But yeah, he shows up in the nick of time too to help Nick. So all of this stuff is happening. Nick is now safe. Nobody is shooting Nick for some reason, even though he's clearly distracted by all the gunshots. Everybody's just like, oh, get that guy, or oh, get that guy. Nobody's like, hey, get the guy with the detonator. Hello? He's sitting there ducking and covering. Now's a good time to dead. So then after all of this is happening, all this craziness is going on, Nick looks out the fence, down at his family. Madison looks up at him and says, Nick, no. Hey, I know that things are actually working out okay. I'm safe for right now. They don't seem to want to shoot me. Walker and Crazy Dog are now helping me. Daniel's also here to help. So the situation seems under control. Blink. I know you guys need a little bit more time to be safe. Blink. Oh my god. Why? Because they need it to be an intense ending, guys. Isn't it just intense to see the dam blow up? And then to see Madison, Alicia, and Strand have to fight against the current, but they're getting dragged through the dam? Isn't it intense to see Nick standing on top of the dam as it starts to fall, and then Daniel has to get him out of there? Isn't it intense to see all these people, dying because of the dam and the water rushing? Isn't it intense, guys? Well, I guess, but why did we have to get here in the first place? Everything was fine. Everything was working out. Unrealistically so, but it was still all working out. And then Nick, for some dumbass reason, says, hey, you know what? Blick. I'm going to blow up this dam anyway. Who cares that it puts my family in danger? Who cares that I could possibly die, even though I'm sitting here, oh, this is my suicide note. And then it's not my suicide note because people showed up to help save me. But you know what? I'm still ready to die. Flick. I don't know. I don't get it. And sure, maybe his idea was something along... Because I know he was talking about, like, oh, this is just something that cruel people will fight over. So maybe his idea was, I'm still going to blow up the dam to keep people from fighting over this, to keep cruel people from ruling over everybody. Kind of what Ephraim's idea was, like, give the water back to the people instead of having people rule over them. Maybe that was the thinking. But it still doesn't make sense that he wouldn't give his family more time to leave, especially now that the situation was more under control. Now that he had help from Daniel and Walker and Crazy Dog. He has that help. Now he has even more time to say, all right, you guys need to get it. Go. Keep going. Keep going. I'm still going to blow it up, though, because that's still what I want to do. If that's the idea, fine. But you didn't handle it. You didn't show it. You essentially, if that was the idea, you essentially made him say, you know what? My family's not worth it either. Blick. Oh my god. Thing is, I did see the picture for next episode, for season 4, the first episode. I did see Morgan in it, which means I guess this is when the crossover officially takes place or whatever. But honestly, like, I don't know, like, this season was just so bad. Because at some point, it wasn't even just about how bad the characters are. I've talked about it all season. I've talked about how I should want to root for these characters. I should want to see these characters survive. I should want to see these characters get through this. But honestly, I really don't. There are a select few. Alicia is still one of them. But honestly, now most of them are gone. Like, Alicia is probably the only one I can think of off the top of my head. Daniel is too, a little bit, but he's not even when I say good character, he's a well-written character, but he's not like a good-hearted character. He's a killer. But he's somebody I would like to see survive, just because I want to see more of him. But Alicia is the only good-hearted character that I want to see survive at this point. Everybody else are just douchebags that I could care less about. Whenever it looks like they might die, I feel nothing. I'm like sitting there thinking, I wish I was happier to see them die, but honestly, I know they're not going to. I know they're going to make it out because this show doesn't have the balls to kill off their asshole characters. They only kill off the nice and the good characters because that's shocking. It's not shocking. What it is stupid writing. Because you're making us not care about the characters anymore because the ones that we do care about are dying off. Like that. So that was a big problem for a lot of the season. But ultimately, just decision making needs to improve. The character decision making, you got to make it more realistic. You got to stop having these stupid situations that get them out of difficult situations. You got to stop. Because there's way too many issues. There's way too many chance encounters. There's way too many stupid mistakes that the bad guys make. There's way too many just mistakes in general. You know? Like directing or editing or writing mistakes. There's too much of that. For this to be in its third season and to be related to a show that is vastly superior, that started on probably a minimal budget and grew into a great show. And yeah, it's had its hiccups in the more recent seasons. You know, I haven't seen the newest season, like the past 2 seasons, I think. So I don't know if anything goes wrong in those seasons. But for the most part, like the writing is still good, the characters are still good, the reality of the show still feels intact. This one, it's already jumped the shark for me several times. And I get that's weird to say that about a show with zombies in it. You know, oh, the zombie show has jumped the shark. But here's the thing. That's one of the great things about The Walking Dead. Is that, yeah, it's a show about zombies. Yeah, it's a zombie apocalypse type of show. So at first you're just like, well, this isn't realistic. I should suspend my disbelief. But a lot of the character decisions felt real. It felt natural. It felt like, yeah, I could see myself making that decision in this situation. It would be hard, but you can relate to the choices. In this show, I don't feel that. Most of the time I'm sitting there going, why are you doing this? You're an idiot. Do you not see your stupid decision? And it's been that way since last season. 2 whole seasons now of just questioning character decisions, questioning rationale, questioning logic. Like, again, yeah, it's a zombie show, so reality, you could argue that reality isn't something that you should hold on to very tightly, but you still have to be logical. And they're not. In a show about survival, in a situation where you want to survive, you would not hold on to a psychopath that keeps causing problems and killing people. You would not act so recklessly when your life is in danger and you're basically holding people hostage. You would not, basically sacrifice so many lives just to keep one person safe that honestly has basically condemned themselves several times over. Talking about Strand there. Like, just so many dumb decisions. And it's just, honestly, it's a writing issue. The 2 good things about the show, aside, and when I say good things, I mean, like, actual good things. When I say, like, Alicia and Daniel, they're obviously a good part of it, but they're wrapped up in the main story, so, they're good characters. They're the only good characters that I want to see more of, but they're still a part of a crap story. But the only 2 good things this show has going for it, one, the effects are pretty good. They do a good job with the effects. They do a good job with making a lot of that look real, which I guess if you're into that, that's fine. Me personally, I'm not somebody that's like, ooh, yeah, that looked cool. Yeah, oh, yeah, slicing off the head. That was awesome. I'm not that type of person. I'm not like somebody who's like, oh my God, oh. Like, I'm not that person either. I'm just kind of in the middle, so I don't care about it either way. But I will say, because I know some special effects people, I do know that this is really well done special effects. I'll give them that. And also, I will say the acting is good for the most part. Like, that's one thing I've never complained about is the acting. The problem is that good acting doesn't always equal good character. You have to write a good character before a good actor can take that character and make them a good character. But the acting, I mean, they play their parts very well. It's just the parts written for them are not good. So I will give them that. They did get some really good actors for these parts. I really do believe that they are idiots. Like, I want to blame the actors that are in these parts, but I know it's not actually them. I know it's just bad writing. I know it's just bad directing. So, but anyways, this was, it's kind of funny because going through NCIS season 16, more episodes. It took longer for me to get done, and it really, like, there was a lot of issues I had with it. This still somehow felt longer getting through. Like, it didn't take me as long, but I feel like I've had to put up with so much crap that I feel like I've suffered more watching this show than I did with NCIS, because NCIS actually had some good moments. There was the one episode with this land is your land. That whole scene with them in the bunker, all of that was good, but it was undercut. There were some definitely suspenseful moments early on in the season. Obviously, I don't remember them because I did those reviews a long time ago, but I saw the videos. I remember talking about it. I do remember, yeah, this was a well done scene. But when out of 16 episodes, you've got a few good scenes, there's a problem. So, anyways, I think I've ranted and raved about this show as much as I can. This is definitely a show that I'll probably I'll come back to it. Again, I do want to see what happens. I do want to see what they did with it. Is the praise that I've seen for this show from a couple people, does it actually get better, or are these people just blind and they just want to turn off their brains and not think? I do want to find that out, and I do want to see how Morgan ties into it as well, because I guess we're getting more of his story. I don't really know how, though, unless he actually traveled all the way to the West Coast and then back to the East Coast. But, I will come back to it. It's going to be a while, for sure. There are a lot of other shows I would much rather watch than this one. But, I don't know. It's just the most frustrating thing about it is because I know it's connected to a better show. And I know that the writer, one of the writers at least for this, is a good writer. We've seen it before. At least I think. I don't know if Robert Kirkman is writer or not. I feel like he's the writer for the comic series, right? That's something I need to look into. But that's a frustrating thing. It's just, it should be good. It should be at least making me want to watch more, but I really don't. Like, just thinking about returning to this show is kind of like, I guess I will. And I shouldn't feel that way. I should be like, let's see how it goes. But no, I was dreading coming back to it, and this show did nothing to appease or to quelch those fears. I pretty much felt the same way ending it as I did beginning it. So, but that's it for me. So let me know what you guys think down in the comment section below. What were your thoughts on these 2 episodes and the season as a whole? Let me know. We can talk about and discuss all that good stuff. Leave a like and subscribe for future Fear the Walking Dead reviews, and I'll see you guys whenever. Peace out.